let's talk about Superman. One of the most beloved American icons in the history of comic books. One of, if not the most iconic characters in DC's comic book lineup. He's gone on to have his own TV shows, cartoon shows, live action movies. He is the end-all be-all of the comic book genre of films and on the page. I grew up on the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and I feel the first two are amazing. And though I do not like Superman Returns, I give it props for continuing where those Christopher Reeves movies left off. Then, Man of Steel, 2013. A new Superman for a new age of moviegoers. This movie was hyped up. People were pumped to see it. It was one of the most anticipated movies of the summer. And many people, like myself, were let down with this movie. And others embrace this new incarnation and love it. And does that mean that some are fans and others are not? No, it means we're all fans. Those who were let down with this movie, don't hate the film. There are just flaws within it that keep us from enjoying it. One of those main flaws is that this interpretation of the iconic Superman, the Man of Steel, is one that we just do not feel is true to the mythology of the character. And though some may not see that, it's fair for us to feel the way we do towards this. This new incarnation of Superman is more directed towards the modern age of film. This Superman kills. He fights without really thinking. And the argument has been made that this is a new telling of Superman, that he's kind of coming into his own. And I can agree, I see that. I can definitely see that. He's really basically, we're seeing him for the first time on screen in this new kind of era of film. People who like the original Christopher Reeves movies, they have all the right in the world to feel disappointed with this. I am disappointed with this. I was let down by this movie, and I have my reasons. And though this movie has a lot of things going for it, like great visuals, a great cast, and great music, it also has a lot of things that keep me from enjoying it to its full extent. The pacing, the lack of character development, and just all around the complete changing of a hero that I've grown up to know. But then you kind of have to also agree with the argument that this is a different telling. This isn't the Superman we've grown up to know. This is a new incarnation of the character that is meant to translate differently to a new audience. And maybe some of us who, grew up with Superman probably just don't want to accept that. I'm willing to admit and be humble and to say, you know what, I don't want to accept this incarnation of Superman at all. I don't want to accept it. Why don't I want to accept it? Because it doesn't feel right. It just does not feel, it doesn't settle. It's just unsettling to me that this is now how Superman is being portrayed. But that doesn't mean I'm not a fan of Superman. It just means I'm not a fan of this interpretation of the character of Superman. And that's my issue. But that doesn't mean I'm not a fan. And the people who like this Superman doesn't mean that they're not fans of the old Superman either. It just means that they liked the old Superman, but they're willing to admit that this Superman, this new incarnation of Superman, is also pretty damn good for them. That this new interpretation of the character is also pretty damn good. But, there's this ongoing debate of, is this Superman really the one we want to see on screen? Is this the Superman we need, that has to be on film? And I'll bluntly say no. Because of the fact that I feel Superman can be done so much better in the hands of another director. Zack Snyder, I've always said, is a great visual director. He is a great visual director. But he had a lot of creative control with this. Yes, I know David S. Goyer wrote the story, and he even took it to Christopher Nolan, who helped co-write it. But in the end, the director will always have all that responsibility put on his shoulders of how that written story is interpreted on screen. So Zack Snyder basically told this story. He is the one who put this on the screen for us. And though I was let down with this movie, it does not mean I hate it. And that's probably for a lot of other people, who watch this movie and were let down by it. Doesn't mean that they hate this film. We have all the right to complain about its flaws, like with any movie. But I think the reason why this movie is discussed more than anything when it comes to its flaws and its changing of this iconic character is because it's Superman. He is Superman. He is the most iconic character in the history of comics, in the history of film, in the history of America. He is an iconic superhero. And, we're all fans in the end, whether we were disappointed with this flick or we ended up loving it. We are all fans of Superman because as fans, loving fans, we're willing to see that this Superman is not the one we grew up with, and as fans, we're willing to also accept this new incarnation. So, all around, is Man of Steel a good or bad movie? I say it's up to you to decide, but I've already made my choice. See you guys next time.